Hello and welcome to another Frenchic's Top Tip video. I'm Craig Phillips, their brand ambassador. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a painted scallop effect on your wall. I'm going to be using Frenchic's chalk wall paint. I'll apply that on with a paintbrush and a roller, but the other items you're going to require are a spirit level, a pencil, a plate and some masking tape, piece of cardboard, tape measure and some scissors. So the first thing you need to do is work out the height where you want your scallop effect. I'm going to set my height at 1000 millimeters, which is 1 meter from the floor. Once you've got your first line drawn in place, transfer that level all the way to the two corners of the room. Then you can continue the level line around the corner. Now I'm going to apply a line of masking tape across the wall, just about 1 millimeter above my pencil height, so when I paint the wall, it covers the line. I'm starting from one end right the way across the other with one single piece of masking tape. Now the masking tape is set 1 millimeter above my pencil line, I can use a damp cloth and wipe the line off the wall. The good thing is, the existing wall has already had 2 coats of Frenchic's chalk paint, so it's scrubbable and no problem to wipe off any marks. Now my existing wall paint on the wall is sage froth, the colour of it. So my second colour that I'm applying to it is going to be a seagull. Both of them are Frenchic's new range of chalk wall paints. And I'm going to apply it directly out of the can, just a quick stir up, straight into my tray and applying it with the roller. Now I'm cutting in with my paintbrush just below where the masking tape line is and the both corners. I'm not going to paint all the way down to the skirting boards just yet, as I've got another idea I'll let you know about in a minute. A great way to apply your paint evenly when using a roller is to spread it in a cross pattern shape covering close to a square metre, and then continue to cover the area in an up and down or side to side motion. This way it distributes the paint more evenly across the surface. Now I'm removing the masking tape. You've got a perfect straight sharp level line, which looks good as it is. Of course you could leave it like that if this was the look you wanted. You can also use this method in the corner of a wall if the 2 different walls are being painted 2 different colours. You can also adopt it where the ceiling and the wall meet, if you want your ceiling a different colour than the wall. Whilst I'm waiting for my paint to dry, I'm going to prepare my plate to create the pattern. So this is just a plastic plate that I've got from our kitchen. It's probably about 350 millimeters wide. It's about 14 inches. And then I'm going to get some masking tape and I'm going to put a line right the way across the actual center of the plate. Now I'm just doing this by eye, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be about halfway. And why I want this like that is for I can place that now against the wall, making sure that either the top or bottom edge of the masking tape on both sides is perfectly level with my painted line on the wall. Then I can take my pencil and draw my scallop shapes. Now the paintwork behind me is dry. I'm ready to start drawing my patterns on the line. So your starting point is very important. You could start right over in the corner and start to draw your half circle all the way down, right the way across to this corner. But then if you get to this corner and you haven't got a full half circle in there, it might be a half, it might be a quarter. It's not going to look very symmetric if you're only painting the one wall on here. So what you would have to do is start in the very center and work your way out so you've got equal size cuts, let's call them, in the corner, and it'd be balanced out and symmetric on the eye. However, if you were continuing it around this corner, which is what I'm going to do, I could start with my full one all the way along, and when I get to here and I've only got a half or a quarter, I can then continue that half round onto this side here. But of course you don't have to cut your plate in half to be able to transfer that shape. I've got another little trick I'll show you later. Place your plate firmly against the wall, lining your masking tape up perfectly level with the painted line. Using your pencil, draw around the plate lightly. Then replace the plate next to your pencil mark and start the second scallop, making sure that your masking tape is still level with your painted line. Then repeat the process right across the wall. So now I've got to this corner and it's not a full plate width there, so I'm certainly not going to bend or snap my plate because Laura won't be very happy with that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to draw a template onto a piece of cardboard. I'll cut that out with my scissors and that way I can bend the cardboard around the corner and simply mark it with the pencil. Check to see if it fits. Then measure from your last scallop to the corner of your wall, transferring the size onto the cardboard cutout. Bend it tight into the wall and your scallop shape will continue around the corner. That's all my scallops drawn on. I can now start to paint these using Frenchic's oval paintbrush. This can be a little tricky if you haven't done them before, so get plenty of paint on your paintbrush and slowly start to paint along the underside of the line, moving it closer to the line with every stroke. Now you'd be forgiven if you thought I was using a different shade of paint, but don't worry, I'm still using the same colour, which is Seagull. However, the paint below my line has had a couple of hours to dry and therefore it's closer to its final colour, as will the wet paint once this is dry. The large brush is a little tricky to continue my arch around the corner, therefore I'm using a smaller detailed brush to try and create the scallop shape.
For the Frenchic paints to perform to their full potential, you need to ensure you apply them effectively. One key factor is the rate of coverage. For example, a 750ml tin will provide a single coat of up to 12.5 square meters for a durable finish. Frenchic's brand is all about the passion and the people. Easy to use for beginners as well as the choice for professionals.
So that's my first coat applied. I'll leave this to dry for 2 hours and then apply a second coat.
I've been in the construction industry for over 3 decades and I've used hundreds of different brands of paint over the years, and I can honestly say that Frenchic really is my first choice. You can see why millions of people all over the world are hashtagging it best paint in the world. Paints like a dream.
I've now completed the second coat on there. Now remember I said I wasn't going to take this all the way down to the skirting board because I had a little idea. Well, my idea is to apply another layer on there, another layer of scallops, but with a different shade. So I started off on the above with the new Seagull, and I've got a gentleman's club here, which is a lot darker. So I'm just going to add about 50% of that into a small amount, give that a good mix up, and then do another line. As we did with our first line, find an appropriate height. Using a spirit level and a pencil, draw a straight line. Apply some masking tape above this, then cut in below the tape using your paintbrush. I'm applying a further section a little bit smaller, but I'm using a radiator roller. Again, I'm not going right down to the skirting board as I intend to do a third scallop line. One important thing to remember when mixing your colours, do be sure to mix the right amount to cover the area, because if you run out, it's virtually impossible to mix some more and get a perfect match. Laura and I have spent the last 3 years building our dream house, and we've had the pleasure of using Frenchic paints throughout almost every room of our home. From walls to ceilings to skirting boards to furniture, as well as our garden office. There really isn't much around our home or garden that hasn't been Frenchic'd. Now my second row of scallops have had their second coat and time to dry, I can start to mark for my third and final row. Like before, apply a further line of masking tape and paint below. But for this final row, I'll be painting all the way down to the floor, right across the skirting board. as Frenchic's chalk wall paint is durable and tough enough to be used on skating boards and wooden floors. Then you can continue to mark up and paint your scallops just like I did earlier. So that's how we achieve a scallop effect on a painted wall, whether you want one row or multiple rows. If you're looking for more how-to videos, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Frenchic TV. Or if you're looking for more inspiration and ideas, head over to the Frenchic Fan Forum on Facebook. And of course, if you need to know more about the products, visit the website, frenchicpaint.co.uk.